Cheeky-Chihuahua Productions presents Boris, Doris and Horis, Room for Rent. Part 1. Oh no, we're broke! The brick apartment on the ground floor of 53 Rolio Terrace had been home to Boris, Doris, and their dog Horis for 5 years. It was a glorious disaster, exactly the way they liked it. Half-finished crochet projects snaked across the furniture. Half-chewed crackers lay on the floor, and a tower of bills stacked high on the dining table, looking like it was ready to topple. This was all quite normal for the quirky trio, but today was far from normal. Today was not a good day. On good days, Boris and Doris would sit outside on the windowsill and watch the activities in the neighborhood, and Horis would stay inside, behind the glass, where he felt safe and was close to his treats. Today was not a good day. Boris was totaling up bills due for payment, and Doris was reaching high up into the cupboard for their money tin.
Oh no! Holy milly moly! We're broke! Doris, are you listening to me? We're broke! Our rent is due, electricity's due, and we still owe money to the pizza place for emotional damages.
Emotional exaggeration, more like. And all for my love of chorizo sausage.
Yeah, that sure was a moment to remember.
Oh, Boris, our money tin is empty. We're broke. Like broke. We've got no money left for rent or food.
Horis asked Boris if he would still have a good supply of treats, and then showed his affection to Boris, when Boris said yes. Doris returned with a plan to find a roommate and to rent out their spare room. It wasn't something they'd discussed before, but it seemed like a good idea. Well, for Horis, it could mean more treats. Later that day, before watching a movie, the trio sat on the couch and shared their ideas about having a roommate. Early the next morning, Boris taped a room for rent sign on the apartment window, and Horis remained at the window, forgetting all about guarding his treats, feeling very excited indeed. Who would be the first to turn up for the roommate position? Horis was about to find out. 10 minutes later, Horis was back on the floor, and Boris heard the first knock on the door. The woman was invited in, and when she saw the mess, she wasn't so keen. But she needed a room, and Doris was very welcoming and friendly. They sat on the couch and got acquainted, and things seemed to go well. Her name was Nervy Nellie. They discussed the rent and went over the house rules. Doris took Nervy Nellie down the hall to her new room, and then went back to the kitchen.
Oh, Horis, please get off my bed.
Nope, not an easy way to move. Nervy Nellie had to promise Horis that she'd give him a treat. The next morning, Nervy Nellie was up early. She'd completely reorganized the kitchen. Doris was horrified when she saw that everything had been tidied and labeled. And what on earth had she done to Horis? Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not rearrange another's house without their permission.
Sorry, Nervy Nellie, but you're not our ideal roommate, so out the door you go. They messed up the house again, just the way they liked it, and danced about, hopeful that the next applicant would be a better fit. And they continued to dance, because dancing made them feel good, and it helped them to forget about their money problems. Mamma Mia was the next applicant. She seemed nice enough. But, hang on. Horis is not a baby, and what's he doing in your pram? Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not treat a dog like a human baby.
Seriously? Oh dear. Away with you, Mamma Mia. Go find a cat that likes you. Next! Next came Pumped Polly, and he seemed like a nice bloke. But oh boy, continuous workouts? And in the kitchen? Clearly not the full quid. Sorry, Pumped Polly. Go find an apartment with a gym. Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not be self-obsessed with one's body.
Happy landing, Porkchop. Next! Musical Martha was a refreshing change. Music was always good. Luckily, Horace's plan to stop her continuous playing was set up wrong, and the kitchen floor and Musical Martha stayed dry. Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not fill the air with hideous music.
Respectfully, Musical Martha. You're not an ideal roommate. Busty Barrel could have been a refreshing change. She was chatty and friendly, and Boris really liked her. But she had a medical problem. She was stinky Busty Barrel. Great for Horace, who enjoyed the gas and bottled it up, even though it made him a little wobbly on his feet and delirious. But for Boris and Doris, it was not good. Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not expel gas in another man's home.
Next! Finally, Larry Lightfingers arrived. He was knowledgeable about items in the house. Maybe that would mean he'd be respectful? Oh no, he was knowledgeable because his fingers were light. He started stealing stuff from the apartment. Good riddance to you, Larry Lightfingers. Could things have been any worse? Boris read from his book.
Thou shalt not steal another man's possessions.
Feeling deflated, sad, and really disappointed, Boris and Horace tried to comfort Doris, who couldn't hold her tears back any longer.
It's all too much! I can't bear it! We'll be kicked out of our apartment.
They imagined what life might be like if they were living on the street. Surely it wouldn't come to this. Will they end up out on the street? Watch Part 2. Boris, Doris, and Horace room for rent. Release the gas to find out.